Okay, 2 Amouage videos in less than a week. Well, I got to get this video out there to let you know what I think about the latest fragrances from Amouage, and those are from the Rennaisance collection: Enclave, Crimson Rocks, Ashore, and Meander. So those are 4 new releases, all unisex fragrances that are just going to be launching very, very soon if they haven't launched yet. And I've got my first impressions for all 4 coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, Rennaisance collection is launching soon if they haven't launched the fragrances yet. And those are 4 new fragrances from the house of Amouage. It's funny because tomorrow I also have another video coming out focusing on that word Rennaisance. This was not planned, but somehow now it seems like it is planned. But anyway, today I'm talking about the Rennaisance collection fragrances called Enclave, Crimson Rocks, Ashore, and Meander. 4 new fragrances just to be launched if they haven't launched it, as I said. But before we talk about them, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So if you haven't caught my video from last week on the fragrance Overture Man from Amouage, please do catch that. But if you're looking for a new Amouage that's woody, spicy, with musky undertones, you might really dig that one, as I think it's perfect for fall, autumn wear, even I think winter wear. I think it'll be perfect for that season as well. Also, I featured it in a fall autumn video as well. You can go catch those videos if you haven't yet. So Enclave, Crimson Rocks, Ashore, and Meander were sent to me as samples. I received them along with Overture Man. And today, their first impressions. Again, I've been testing them out here and there. I've got my favorites, and I'll tell you what they are. But they're created by 3 different perfumers. They're 4 fragrances, so 1 perfumer has created 2, and those are the 2 last fragrances. That is Enclave is created by Julien Rasquinet. Crimson Rocks is created by Domitile, Michalon-Bertier. And then both Ashore and Meander are created by Mackenzie, Reilly. So let's go ahead and talk about Enclave first. This is the sample I have. Julien Rasquinet has created a fragrance called The Moon that I'm obsessed over, and this is Enclave for Amouage. And with this one, as soon as I smelled it, I immediately picked up mint. And I have a bit of a challenging time with mint in fragrances. I mean, I'm obsessed with mint as an herb. I love eating it, but sometimes it goes into a direction of not smelling like the actual natural stuff and smells more like toothpaste and things like that. So I have to be careful with mint, and I'll tell you what this one's all about. So this one, let me tell you some notes. It's chock full of notes. So in the top notes you have cardamom oil, spearmint oil, pink pepper CO2, and cinnamon bark oil. In the heart notes you have rose absolute, patchouli heart, olibanum oil, and vetiver oil. In the base notes you have Saffiano, AmberXtreme, and Labdanum Resinoid. So lots going on here, and I'll tell you what I think about this one. So this is not peppermint, it's spearmint oil, but apparently it starts off with cardamom on the top notes as well, with pink pepper and cinnamon bark. So it is a spicy aromatic concoction in the top. So for me, this one actually goes into that oudi direction. It kind of reminds me of the oud and things like that that's featured in Frederic Malle, but it is different, of course. It's got a pretty prominent spearmint oil note, or spearmint note, but for me, it's a soft version of it. It's not like, for me, aromatic and herbal notes go sharp. This does not go that direction at all. There's a very soft balance about it, which I appreciate here. Again, it's an Oriental style fragrance. It does have a kind of a oudi, Middle Eastern kind of a quality or styling to it, but with that mintiness and spiciness at the top, that makes it different enough to appreciate something where you've smelled plenty of them, you go, okay, this smells similar, and I'm kind of getting burnt out on it. Whereas here, it's aromatic and spicy with not only spearmint at the top notes, you also have cardamom and cinnamon bark. Because you definitely pick up the cinnamon, you definitely pick up the cardamom, and then you do pick up a little bit of the pink pepper as well, but the spearmint is pretty prominent here. So I enjoy this one. Is it my favorite? I'll tell you at the end. But the spearmint definitely doesn't go into that toothpaste direction, which makes it very, very tough for me to appreciate. When you've consumed mint a lot, and it's a delicacy in your, upbringing and in your family, it's kind of like you have to be very careful with the type of mint or spearmint that you're actually, smelling in fragrances. So that is Enclave. All right, this next one is called Crimson Rocks, and this is created by Domitile Michalon-Bertier. So not as well known as Julien Rasquinet, who did the previous fragrance I spoke about, but I've seen her name come up quite a bit. And this one, when I first sprayed all 4 of them and testing them out when they first came, this one actually really stood out for me. I love the way it smells. I love things like cinnamon, and this one has a cinnamon note along with roses, and it's definitely a wonderful smell when you first smell it. So what we have for notes here is pink pepper, CO2, cinnamon bark essential oil. In the heart you have rose essential oil, rose ultimate, and jujube honey accord. In the base notes you have oakwood, CO2, cedarwood atlas oil, and vetiver oil. So it seems like it starts off spicy, goes floral rosy in the heart, and then dries to a woody base. And I can smell it. As soon as I spray this one, I can smell it, and it's the kind of fragrance I like. The combination of roses with cinnamon and pink pepper, top notch. I love it. This one is really, really wonderful. It reminds me of some things that are classic, but I haven't smelled something like this more recently. So there is a classic touch, but as far as like the actual perfume, it does have some really great refinement to it. So it doesn't come off harsh like the previous fragrance, although this I think is a more fragile, using fragile notes in comparison to the other one, because the other one was a little more stronger. It has more heft to it. But with this one, the smell is fantastic. I really love this one. So that's Crimson Rocks from perfumer Domitile Michalon-Bertier. Okay, the next 2 fragrances are created by Mackenzie Reilly, and it's interesting that she did 2 fragrances in this collection and then 1 perfumer for the other 2 fragrances separately. So this one is Ashore, and Ashore is another one that I reacted to really wonderfully when I first smelled these 4 fragrances. It was Crimson Rocks and Ashore that really got me excited about this collection. I thought that Enclave would get me really excited because I knew that it was the perfumer Julien Rasquinet, but in the end Crimson Rocks and Ashore really got me excited. So those 2 ended up being my favorites. I'm going to tell you which they are, and I'll tell you about this one. This one has a very, very beautiful, deep, rich jasmine note, which jasmine has been a favorite note of mine lately, and I love the way it smells. It's just beautiful and fragrant and floral and kind of humid and white and a bit milky, and this one just really does not disappoint. There's a freshness about it, but also a deep and richness about it. But with this one you have at the top pink pepper, CO2, cardamom oil, turmeric leaf oil. In the heart, jasmine, sambac absolute, solar accord, and rose absolute. In the base notes, ambergris accord, olibanum, hyper absolute, and sandalwood oil. So lots of different things going on, but whenever they add that solar accord, it gives me an idea of a very summery fragrance. Just there's a freshness about it, not necessarily that the fragrance itself is like a light and airy kind of fragrance, but just the experience seems like it's perfect for the summer. I don't know, that's what I got with this one. So let's go ahead and spray Ashore. I can totally smell this one. As soon as I smell it, it's just that kind of a smell. I guess the solar accord also gives me a little bit of a suntan lotion kind of a styling. Not all the way, but a little bit. And it smells great, guys. This is so good. This is really, really good. Do I like it more than Crimson Rocks? I think I do. I don't know what it is about this one, but the jasmine sambac is that just beautiful, pungent white flower that's really, really strong. And I think what they've given us is really, really a great rendition of it with that solar accord and rose absolute in the heart. It does start off spicy at the top, but it immediately goes into the jasmine. I feel like the jasmine's the star of the show, because in the end, when I first smelled it, all I got was jasmine. I had to kind of study it to visualize what else we have in here, but a great scent. This is really, really a fantastic smell. I think this one's going to sell quite a bit. I'm not sure if it'll sell to the male crowd quite a bit, but definitely women will be all over that one, because I feel like the combination of the solar accord with the jasmine is fantastic. The last fragrance is called Meander, same perfumer, and this one actually I did not react very positively to, but I think it rubbed me the wrong way when I first sprayed it, but eventually it dries down to smell pretty decent. But this Meander did not turn out to be my favorite. So let me tell you what this one's all about. So this one has notes of olibanum oil, carrot heart, pink pepper, and black pepper in the top notes. Heart notes orris, rose absolute, cypriol heart, and jonquil absolute. In the base notes, olibanum, resinoid, vetiver, and sandalwood. So it's a deep, intense, powdery, carroty. Definitely you can smell the carrots. It does have a carroty kind of smell. And a very, very resinous, and of course it's an interesting combination of these notes that I thought wouldn't be combined together, but they're definitely combined. But this is intense. I think this one goes a little goes a long way, and the initial spray doesn't really do it for me, but eventually it settles to something really nice. It kind of goes into a incense slash powdery slash cypriol kind of a combo. So those are what's really standing out for me. But upon initial spray, the carrot really does stand out. It disappears after all. I think the carrot is what's kind of like confusing me and not something I'm appreciating as a note. So I gotta train my nose to appreciate carrot note, I guess. And I think the carrot note comes off very, very strong at the top. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. It might not do that for you guys, but it does it for me. In the end, it kind of settles to something like Comme des Garçons Zagorsk. It smells like pencil shavings a little bit. So it's not a bad fragrance. It's just doesn't do it for me when you first spray it. But in the end, I think I have a toss-up between Crimson Rocks and Ashore. Those two are fantastic. And then Enclave comes afterwards, and then finally at the end it's Meander. So those are my thoughts on these 4 new fragrances from Amouage. Let me know what your thoughts are if you've sampled them yet. I know they're hitting for sales like very, very soon. So I'm not sure if you've even had a chance to sample them yet, but if you have, do let me know and put a comment down so I can find out. And if you haven't, out of the 4, which one sounds greatest to you? I mean, depending on what you like for flowers, Jasmine for Ashore, roses with cinnamon for Crimson Rocks, and then for Enclave, the mint with all the intense woody notes, and then finally with Meander, it's the papyrus and the Olibanum with the orris note that's in it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on these fragrances, and which one would you end up with if you were buying something, and what sounds great to you. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching today. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.